The Nintendo Switch 2, or really whatever it's going to be called. It's possibly the most anticipated sequel to a console we've ever seen. The Switch now has been out for 7 years. It's had over 130 million sales so far, making it one of the most successful consoles ever, and there's just been a long time of waiting between the Switch and whatever we're getting next. So naturally, obviously, there has been just a ton of anticipation for whatever this new console is going to be, and it seems like very often we can get leaks, just like Grand Theft Auto 6 or something that is that hyped. Yeah, anything that's got that level of anticipation and people waiting for it, there's always going to be, alleged leaks, stuff like that. But today, or between yesterday and today, really within the last 24 hours now, there have been a lot of different leaks from a lot of different sources, and it's kind of funny because usually it's like one leak at a time, but all of a sudden we've kind of got like a few different leaks now. And some of these, or a lot of them, are from credible sources, I guess we could call them. So yeah, one is from Mobad. That is the name of the alleged accessory manufacturer of the Nintendo Switch. I say alleged because I've been digging and digging now, and I can't actually find like official confirmation that this is the official accessory manufacturer of the Switch. But like, I don't know, everybody is saying that this is the actual legitimate company that does this, so I very strongly believe that this is the manufacturer. So Mobapad posted details of the Switch 2, or alleged details, on their Bilibili page. Now, Bilibili is a huge social media website in China. I believe it's one of the, if not the biggest social media website. I think it's like a cross between YouTube and Facebook. So anyway, according to these details, the Switch 2, or whatever it's called, will have a 1080p screen on it with a 4K capable dock. So according to these details, the newest console is basically going to be very similar to the Switch in terms of the actual premise of it. So, you got the mobile version, and then you got the ability to connect it to a larger TV. So yeah, if this is true, we're not going to see a huge departure from the original Switch with the new console. But according to these details, the newer console will have a bigger screen, and it will have 1080p support. And the dock will be capable of showing 4K graphics when you stream it to the big TV, or however big your TV is. Also, according to these details, there will be backward compatibility with Nintendo Switch games. That's good. That should definitely be expected. I guess I shouldn't say expected, but they definitely should do that, in my opinion. There shouldn't be any reason why they wouldn't. And also, according to these details, there will be new Joy-Con buttons. And it talks a little bit about these buttons, but what is actually interesting is that the other big leak that came out today was from a Spanish gaming website called Vandal. Now, apparently this website, Vandal, also has sources that are also some sort of manufacturer of Nintendo Switch. Now, I don't know if this is actually specifically Mobapad, or if this is a different type of manufacturer. I'm not exactly sure. But according to this website, Vandal, kind of goes more into details about the new Joy-Con controllers. So they actually talk about how the new Joy-Con controllers will be magnetically supported. Basically, they will be able to magnetically attach themselves to the console. That is a bit of a departure from the current system, where it's like a rail sort of docking into the console. So people are naturally wondering if you could just use Switch controllers, Switch Joy-Cons with this new console, and that's definitely unclear right now. But it is suggested that the Nintendo Switch Pro controller will actually be compatible with this new console. Now, Vandal does have a pretty good track record from what it looks like with predicting certain things with the current Switch console that have ended up being true. So these are all just kind of talking about different specs, different things with this new console, and I have to say, it sounds like if these details are true, this new console is going to be very, very similar to what we have already with the Switch. There's not going to be some new crazy gimmick with the new console. It's going to be very similar to the one we have right now. Yeah, it almost sounds like a sort of mid-lifetime update sort of thing with the current Switch console. Almost like how, with the Xbox One, you later had the Xbox One X, or with like the PlayStation 4, you eventually had the PS4 Pro. Kind of just like minor tweaks here and there. It just seems a little different, a little out of the ordinary for Nintendo to do something like that, to kind of settle with the formula they have going on right now. Nintendo obviously definitely has a track record of changing things up one after the other with all of their consoles. There always seems to be some sort of a gimmick that is drastically changed and different from its predecessor. If these new details are true, it doesn't seem like that will actually be the case anymore. Now, one final thing to note, Business Korea also recently came out with another alleged leak. Now, this is a finance website based out of South Korea. Now, they're saying that according to their sources, the Switch 2 is going to come out later this year, sometime late 2024. This is in contrast to certain leaks we got kind of a month or two ago that said we're actually going to get it in spring 2025. So yeah, who actually knows if, this is actually true? Who knows what release date we're actually going to be getting? But Business Korea is saying it is going to come out by the end of this year. They're also saying that certain components for the new Switch console, or whatever it's called, is going to be manufactured by Samsung, and they are going to use a NVIDIA chip. Now, that has been reported also in the past. Now, this NVIDIA chip, I'm not super big on specs, but from what I'm reading, it's very similar in power to the PlayStation 4. So in terms of performance, this new Nintendo console should be on par with the previous generation of, Xbox, PlayStation consoles. I guess that's to be expected. I mean, Nintendo has always been behind a generation or two of consoles with specs when comparing them to Xbox or PlayStation. That's just always how it's been. And while I do think it is cool that we would have a Nintendo console on par with PS4 graphics and specs, it is still frustrating to hear that they would be behind a generation in terms of specs. I know a lot of Nintendo fans are always frustrated by stuff like that. That is one of the reasons why people will emulate Nintendo games onto their gaming PC. It just looks a lot better on these PCs with, current specs. But anyway, yeah, a lot of leaks came out today and yesterday. Summing it all up, if it is all true, the new Nintendo console will be released by the end of this year. The specs will be on par with the PS4, and it'll be very similar in terms of concept to the Nintendo Switch. Basically just with a bigger screen, better specs, and even a magnetic Joy-Con. I don't think people would be too disappointed if they kind of kept the same concept, but I don't know, it's not like Nintendo to do that, to repeat the same concept. I don't know, I feel like that while maybe all of this is true, I feel like there's also going to be something else. Something that changes it up and makes this new console unique.